Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. Today I'm here with a book review. I'm going to review The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I read this in October. It's part of my seasonal TBR and this was published in 1959 and I was super excited about this book because I watched both films. One I think is from the 1960s and The Haunting from 1999 with Liam Neeson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Owen Wilson. And I also watched the Netflix show last year, which I loved. And so because of that, I was super excited about this book. Also, I read We Have Always Lived in a Castle by Shirley Jackson and really enjoyed it. I should have loved this book. And I was just so disappointed. If you don't know what this book is about, I'm just going to give you a quick overview. This is about Dr. Montague, Nellie, Theodora, and Luke, who go to Hill House in order to study or sort of take notes, observe any sort of paranormal activity that goes on there. And the Hill House is just this amazing, huge mansion that people in town hate. It has like a really bad rap. No one has lived there in many years. The family that owns Hill House sometimes tries to rent it, but no one can stay there because of the bad vibes. Mr. and Mrs. Dudley are the only ones that go there. They leave because they clean the house, they take care of the garden and all that, but they always leave at night, or rather before before it's dark, and they never come back till the morning. So if you are there at night, you are there alone, and this is on top of a hill, so not a lot of people around to help you if you need help. I have to be honest, because I watched the films and the show before I read this book, I was expecting something else. If you want to read this book because you watched the Netflix show, don't get your hopes up because it has nothing to do with the Netflix show. I already knew it before starting it, but I really liked the show nevertheless. But the film, I thought the film from 1999 was strongly based on this book, and it's not. This is one of those situations in which I actually prefer the film to the book, and that never happens. So just to give you an idea, this is kind of spoilerish in a way, because if you own this edition, then I'm telling you something about it. So just be careful, because I am going to talk about things freely. I'm not going to give you like major spoilers, but just know that I'll talk about some things. My edition is 272 pages long, and nothing happened till page 140. Nothing happened. Nothing whatsoever. I was extremely bored the entire time. I rarely DNF books, so I didn't want to DNF this one. I thought, my God, the ending must be spectacular. It was not. But anyway, I thought, I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to read this book and I might enjoy it. I don't think I'm going to have like a change of heart towards the end, but it might be so good. Who knows, right? So Dr. Montague invites Nellie and Theodora to go to Hill House and help him out. And Luke is actually the owner's nephew. And so he's there as sort of just keeping an eye on things, making sure that no one ruins anything. But he's actually really cool about it, and he helps them out, and he's just part of the group. So they don't treat him differently just because he is the owner's nephew. Hill House is just scary because of the decorations and the countless halls. People get lost all the time. They never know where they should go. Like, they turn right and they get lost because everything is the same, and at the same time it's not, and it's just way too big and way too scary. But they find a way to live there for a while and be sort of okay with it. They find ways to keep track on everybody. They're always together. They never leave anyone behind. They open all the doors so no one gets lost because the doors are super heavy. And after a while, they start hearing some noises at night that are really scary and loud. And that's all that is to it. That's all. Problem is that Nellie is kind of sensitive. She had a really hard time. She took care of her mother until she passed, and because of that, she never had a life of her own. Unlike her sister, who's married and has children and has a job, Nellie basically just took care of their mother, and she doesn't know what to do now because her mother died and she's having a hard time moving forward. So she has some trust issues, obviously. You can sense that she's very awkward socially. She's always scared about what other people think of her. She loves Theodora, and then the next minute she hates Theodora. Theodora mocks her, just in a playful way. Nellie, she has a hard time accepting it, and she hates Theodora for a couple of hours because of that. And then, oh my God, I would die for her. She is very awkward in that sense. She suffers from social anxiety, I'm sure, and she has some trust issues. I think that after a while, the house gets to her. There's nothing really scary about it other than the noises they start hearing at night, but they can't really understand what it's coming from. They don't understand if the house is evil, if the people that live there were evil. It's really hard to understand what is causing all of this, but the problem is all the others can deal with it, and they take it as, this is a paranormal event, a paranormal activity. We're going to take notes, we're going to study it. And Nellie just feels like it's about her. And I don't know if it is or not, but she's pretty annoying about it. And the others are getting tired by this point. Her character development is hard to describe because she's just super annoying at some point. She was fine at first. I think that's supposed to be the character development that we are supposed to expect from her, but at the same time, because nothing really happens and I was overall just bored, I just didn't care. I was not invested at all. I just wanted to finish the book. I didn't care anymore. And the ending, I was reaching the end and I thought, okay, this is going to be major, like those really big, like amazing fighting scenes in an action film. But no, it just fell completely flat. She just lets the house have an impact on her that the others can't understand, and she's unable to control herself and to reason. And because of that, they decide to send her home. I'm not going to explain everything because otherwise I would be spoiling the book, but there are more things to, that complement what I'm saying. But this is basically what happens. I have to say that I was expecting much more based on the film and the show. I love the film The Haunting. If you haven't watched it, you should. It's just amazing. I loved what they did with it. And I think that a lot of people don't know about this film. It's not very popular, but everybody I know that has watched this film ended up loving it. This was filmed in 1999, if I'm not mistaken, and I think they were able to create such a compelling story. I think that everybody would love this film, and if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. But even the film has nothing to do with the book, This is a spoiler, what I'm about to say, but in the film, Dr. Montague invites Nellie, Luke, and Theodora, and in this case, Luke is not the owner's nephew, and they go because they think they're taking part in a sleep study because they have trouble sleeping, and they have no idea that Dr. Montague picked them because they experience paranormal activities, or they witnessed paranormal events when they were children, and he's actually trying to study them and how they're going to react being in a haunted house. And they only find this out later in the film, and they are offended. But in the book, they know why they're there. They know they're supposed to study or witness or, any sort of paranormal activity. And I think that was so bad. The fact that they already knew what they were doing it's just, I mean, what's the point in me reading the book? Also, in the film, they create this backstory about the man who designed and built Hill House, Hugh Crane, and he's supposed to be this monster who had two beautiful young wives, and they both died, and then he was just this man who wanted the house filled with children, and supposedly he loved them very much, but that's not exactly what happened. And in the book, Hugh Crane he designed the house, he built the house, but nothing really happens. He goes to Europe with his wife, and I think they just stay there till they die. And they had two children, two girls, and they fight over the house, they fight over everything inside the house. I think Luke mentions that his aunt, the owner of Hill House now, actually met the younger sister, and she had to take some legal actions because she's crazy, but that's basically it. The house has a bad rap. Obviously, more things could have contributed to this bad rap, but I wouldn't say that they're major, you know? I still don't consider Hill House to be a haunted house. I mean, if you're thinking about the film and the Netflix show, yes, it is a haunted house. It is portrayed as a haunted house, and I totally agree. But in the book, it's just a house with a really bad rap. And okay, bad vibes, but not really haunted. I mean, there's no story there. You know, before Hugh Crane, or Hugh Crane was this horrible person or anything like that, this monster. So big and complex and weird looking. It looks scary, but that's different, you know. One thing is for a house to look scary and you're scared because you don't feel comfortable, but that doesn't mean that the house is haunted. I would say that this is more about Nellie and the fact that Nellie is just very sensitive and vulnerable, get affected by all of these weird events. I think there's a perfectly good explanation for these events, these noises that they hear, but that's something that you just basically don't really know because it's not that well explored, not that well developed. So, to be perfectly honest, I just finished the book because I wanted to say that I finished the book, but that's it. I don't have anything else to add. I was super disappointed. It felt super flat for me. I can't believe that, you know, I loved We Have Always Lived in a Castle, and then I read this one and I just, what happened? What happened there? I would not recommend this book. To be perfectly honest, I would recommend the Netflix show, and I would recommend the films, The Haunting. But yeah, if you are going to read this book just because of the Netflix show, because a lot of people have told me that on Instagram, don't get your hopes up because it has nothing to do with the show. And besides, it's just really bad. It's just really, 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 really boring. You know, it is well written, but it's just boring. Like, I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel scared. I didn't feel uncomfortable. I just didn't feel anything. So that's it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that, you know, if this is your favorite book or if you love this book, I'm really sorry for trashing it, but, you know, I'm just giving my opinion. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you agree with me down below in the comment section, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye.